What do you
skill-based
mean, man?
units versus skill-based units in quotation marks. So skill-based units were straight up just bad units, right? A lot of people are talking about, oh, this unit is skill-based, this unit is bad, and people have been talking about it before. But since Shiryu dropped, it's been a lot, right? People were saying Shiryu is skill-based. People were saying, nah, Shiryu's not skill-based. He's just bad. What do you think about it? We got Helix here. What does Helix think about skill-based units versus units that are just bad?
Honestly, on quote unquote, like what you're talking about being a scale based unit and quote unquote the skill based unit. So, for example, what people say about Shiryu, right? Like, you need skills with him. I mean, yeah, at some point you do need skills with him to play, and he's a type of character that you cannot go head on, fight people just like any basic attacker would do. Like, for example, Jabra, Garb. These are some busted attackers in this game, right? But
Yep.
Shiryu is some kind of a attacker. You have to like play him differently. So
Yeah.
like you gotta sneak in, attack, run away, attack till you have the power grudge on.
Yeah, and
So
so people say Shiryu is a good attacker, right? He's just skill based. But if I ask you this, who's an attacker? Let's say let's go back, right? Let's say Kalgara. Do you think Shiryu is a better attacker than Kalgara?
no, but it can also be dependent on the situation that we are in.
Yeah, like I said, it's
Cause
definitely situational. So like when let's say let's see, let's come back. Let's go back to old OPPR. Let's compare the two metas since Kalgara's not really meta right now. When Kalgara dropped and Dark Roger was running around, versus when Sabo, Garp, and Kuzan dropped and Shiryu was running around. Who do you think was doing better? Who do you think was doing better as an attacker?
of course Kalgara, cause Kalgara used to one shot that man.
Exactly, and this is what I'm saying about Shiryu. I've played a lot. I've played over like 30 games with Shiryu. I'm getting D-ranked in League because I'm trying to learn how to play this man, and I've got some skill with
So,
him.
so here's the thing: most of the people in this game, they don't really care what the attacker playstyle is, right? So for shield unit, you gotta have a defensive shield. So first you gotta stack up your shield with Jabra or for Garb, right?
Yeah.
And then you go head on and try to fight people. For Kalgara, you need to build his attack stacks. Same with the Raja. You gotta build your attack stats with commissary. Then you can go charge in the midst of the battle zone and kill people.
Yeah, and
But
it
with
just ties into
Shiryu, it's different.
OPBR. OPBR
Shiryu
is
is
just
really because he has this ability to get invincible, stab people on the back, run away, and do it multiple times till you get your power grudge on, and then you can kill one person
yeah, and in my
guaranteed,
opinion,
right?
that's what a runner should be.
And people, yeah, and people in this game are not really gonna follow that tactic throughout the game because they're gonna be rushing in, doing the thing like they do with all the other attacker units. They will play him similar like what their playstyle used to be with the other attackers.
Exactly, and I
So
feel
that
like
makes
Shiryu's
you looks bad.
playstyle.
You gotta adapt to character how his playstyle is and then play with him.
Yeah.
If you're just gonna fix with the same playstyle with every unit, you're gonna look bad or you're gonna make the character look bad. So I cannot like go rush in with Soba Mask and kill people like I do with Shanks, right? They are both different
Okay. Okay.
units. They are
Valid.
both runners, but they are both different units. They both have their own unique play style. So I cannot go Soba kick people and just one shot them, but I can with Shanks if I
Okay.
commissary them.
Okay. Now let me ask you something. Another different topic. How do you feel about OPBR making units like let's look at Shanks and another unit like S Bear. S Bear is clearly a defender, but they give him the freaking attacker tag, right? He has only one attack skill and a TP skill, a utility skill, right? That's what I'll call it. And Shanks is he has guaranteed KOs. He's basically an attacker, right? How do you feel about OPBR making units like these? Like Shiryu should have made a runner, right? He has the runner build, he has the invisibility. He's not gonna fight you head on like a runner would, right? A runner would cap the flag and run away. How do you feel about OPBR making units like this?
I mean, honestly, it just comes back to what the conversation I was having just before you said this points, like how people play the characters, like how people do it with their play style or their player uh, generalized characters. So basically, for Shanks, right? Shanks is known to be an offensive runner, but for this dude, Espear, right? He is good attacker, yes, but can he defend? Can he like charge the flag and get off the enemies from the flag? Probably yes, but the thing is, most of the time, people just don't like to defend. You can see it in the meta right now. Like most of the Kuzan players that we face in the game, they are just cooking because their character is just too busted.
Yeah, and
But
that's the
most
thing
of
for
them just
Kuzan.
don't even know how to defend the flags.
Yeah, that's for
And for
Kuzan.
most of the people in this game, defenders are boring to play.
True, but then why? Like, here's the thing, right? And like the defenders, yeah, I get it, right? Even I just got cooked with Blue Kaido because my team was ass. But we're gonna forget about that. Why is it that like what I'm asking is how do you feel about them making a defend like an attacker play as a defender? Like give him knockback to get his traits. Like Esper can get his invincibility trait without knocking an enemy back. And knockback, I don't want to say it's more like a defender type thing, but it's like you knock enemies off the flag, to defend the flag. That's more of a defender type of skill, right? And he only has again one attack skill. That's another thing. We'll move to the next topic very quickly here. But like, how do you feel about that? Like, people don't want to play, defensively as an attacker. They want to play offensively because they're an attacker.
It's just the basic play style of an attacker or basic mindset of a player. Like most of the time, you play an offensive attacker, so now you just don't want to like adapt to a new play style and defend or like attack. Like it's a debatable thing. Like if you see a good SPR player, he can do really good and he can make that unit look good.
Where are
But
they,
if
bro?
you
They
just
don't exist. They're
what
not real, bro. Are the S-Bear players in the room with us, bro? They do not exist. Nobody playing S-Bear. Ain't nobody
no, I
playing
have
S-Bear.
so many SPR players who are really good. Like
Let me catch him in the battle, bro.
bro, they are like, but yeah, of course, like their numbers are low, of
Uh,
course, but yeah, there
all
are
right.
some good players.
Let's talk about balanced units. Let's talk about balanced units now, because this is another thing people are talking about, right? Especially after this, after the end of this anniversary. We got Garp, we got Kuzan, and we got Sabo. Now, in my opinion, and like what a lot of people said when Sabo first dropped, Sabo is a balanced unit. Now, a lot of people were saying Sabo was bad, me included, right? Sabo has good things about him, but compared to his contemporaries, right? I'm not gonna compare him to who's a runner. I'm not gonna compare him to Blue No. I'm not gonna compare him to Niji. He's an EX, so I'm gonna compare him to the EXs he was released alongside. Garp is a busted attacker, probably the best attacker in the game.
Yep.
Kuzan, busted defender, the best defender in the game, right? He's even an attacker as well. And then there's Sabo. Sabo, he's a
And
runner,
there's
but you can just knock him off the flag. Sabo, he's a runner with his counter. Oh my god, his counters, but you can just hit him with a psych allied and he whiffs his counter and you just one shot him. Alright? How do you feel about
mhm.
Sabo being balanced? Like, how do you feel about are balanced units balanced or are they just bad when they're released in a meta with busted EXs?
No matter how good the character is, how good the balance unit is, but if you release those characters against two busted ass characters who are already cooking in the meta, the balanced character that was dropped after them will obviously look bad.
Yeah.
That's the same when that happens with Sabo, right?
Yeah. I
Like
feel like Sabo objectively is
bad
bad.
compared to the other two
Yeah,
EXs.
compared to the other two X's, let me preface that. Like, would you say Sabo is as good a runner, or he's a better runner than Garp is an attacker?
No,
Would you say he's a better runner than Kuzan is a defender?
he's not.
Exactly. So he's not even on the same level as the two other people who he released as. Objectively, at his own role that he does, he is worse than them at their own role that they do. He's he's worse than them, and people are like, "Oh no, Sabo's the best." He's not the best EX. He's balanced. If you say he's
Sabo,
balanced, he's probably bad.
Sabo is best if you know how to play him.
But you can say that about
So
anybody, right? Like if I know how to play Garp,
for,
then
yeah, so for
Garp is the
me,
best.
Shanks is like the one of the best offensive runner in the game right now.
Yeah.
And for others, Shanks might be ass, right?
No, I
So it's a
understand play
debate.
styles, but like if we're looking at it in general, like just base the character does this, the character. Like if we're looking at the best Sabo player, the best Garp player, is it doesn't really matter. Like there's too many in betweens. But if we just say Sabo the character, is he better at running and capping flags than Garp is at getting KOs?
No.
He's not, right? He's not better at defending flags. Kuzan can defend 5 flags at once. Sabo can't cap 5 flags at once. Like it's not.
Nah,
He's just not on the
I
same
wish.
level.
Yeah.
He's
Nah.
just not on the same level as them. And that's when I say a unit is bad. Not because they're, oh my gosh, they're dog shit. But because if you compare them to who they just dropped with, they're just not, they're just not pulling the same kind of weight that these guys are pulling. Garp, Galaxy Impact, everybody's dead. Sabo is flying, ignore damage. They
Yep.
give him a damage reduction skill. And Garp is out here running around with ignore damage reduction. What do you want him to do? The little defense stack he gets from
Nothing,
Garp
bro.
is dead.
Just accept the fate and die.
Just die.
That's why you can do.
They gave him his
Accept your
shield, but like Garp has a skill that goes through walls. Like, come on now, come on. And then you know what they do immediately after? These units
What?
are bad, yes, but they drop 2 Sabo counters. Like,
True.
if they weren't horrible, like where would Sabo be? If they didn't fumble Burgess and Shiryu, where would Sabo be right now? He's the
True.
balanced one, and he's the one who got 2 counters immediately. Like, come on now.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Well, yeah. Do you have anything else to add? Start wrapping this up. We don't want to keep the people here for too long.
To be very honest, like it's just I just see a lot of debates going on in the Discord chats and most of the time on comment section like, oh, this character is good, this character is good, and some third person comes up and like, nah, they are both ass.
It's
So it's basically like it depends on each person's play style and each person's unique ability to bring out the best out of those units.
yeah,
So
and I
for
feel like
me,
that's a
it's just
fairly
like,
obvious thing. Like yes, of course, yeah. If you're a better Shanks player than me, then to you Shanks is gonna be better than this other unit. But if we look at things like you guys in the comment section, in different comment sections, if we're talking in the comment section, we're looking at things objectively. Okay, it doesn't matter if you can cook with Blackbeard. Blackbeard is objectively worse than Garp. Right? So you can't say, oh, well, I'm the best Blackbeard player and he's really good to me. Okay, but he's not as good as Garp. Like,
it
you know what I'm
obviously
saying?
depends on the new traits, the new mechanism of the game, right? And Blackbeard is like one of the first EXs to drop in the game, and Garb is like one of the newest EX to drop in the game.
Yeah, and that was like an exaggeration. But like, if somebody says, let me think of people who are like closer together, like Lucci and
Roger,
Shanks. Let's say Lucci and
Roger,
Shanks, they drop
yeah,
together. If somebody
yeah,
comes up to me and says, "Oh, Lucci's better than Shanks," oh, Shanks is okay. That one is pretty close. It's subjective, but like if we say Lucci and no, who's a good defender? Who's a good defender besides if I say Yonji and Kuzan, you could be number
hmm
one Yonji, the most skilled Yonji player, and say, "Oh no, like I enjoy Yonji more than Kuzan because I cook with him." Okay, but objectively, Kuzan is better than Yonji, right? Like that's not a thing we should be arguing about. That's not a thing we should be arguing
yeah.
about. Like we should all be able to say, okay, I
EX
can cook
will
with him.
always be better than the Bounty Fest.
Yeah, and that's a different topic for another thing. Maybe we'll make that into another video. But for now, we'll
Yeah,
wrap up. Okay, skill-based units versus skill-based units. In quotations. What's
yep.
your final word on that?
It's just like, bro, stop beefing. Like, it's like you can have a busted ass character and then you're gonna compare him to the balanced character and be like, oh, my balanced character is good compared to those busted characters. Nah, bro, you were just very good with him. That's why you make him look good.
Yeah, and a lot of
But
people are just coping.
on paper, Sabo is really balanced compared to Garp and Kuzan. We all should be that.
It's just coping. I feel like it's people
And
coping for their favorite character. You, Timmy in the
yeah,
comments, Johnny, Daphne. I don't freaking know. You're just coping. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Bye.